It's Tim Albright with AVNation at NAB 2025 with Julian Fernandez from Epiphan. The double award-winning Epiphan, Pearl Nexus from the AVNation Reader's Choice Awards. So congratulations, sir.
Thank you. We're really excited to be honored that we created something that served so many folks so well this year in the AV industry. I think it's
so let's talk about what the Nexus is, right?
So the Pearl Nexus, we at Epiphan think of ourselves as we do 4 key things.
Okay.
We capture video, so bring it into a box. We can do enhanced video, so we'll do layouts, add graphics, personalization, some basic production, and then we can stream and record. And I'll emphasize the and because we can do both simultaneously.
Okay.
And that's really been the power of this device for folks in higher education, in courtrooms, in corporate conference centers that are doing learning and development, that they want to have that content shared kind of beyond the space. I feel like we spend a lot of time, past life for me, past life for you, on the integrator manufacturer side was always about the room. Hey, how do we build out the rooms that experience is great there? And what this device does is it's that link between what you've done in that room and that great experience you've created and the outside world. And that's where a lot of folks in higher ed and these different spaces see a lot of value, because in this new, evolving world we're in, we're not always together. So how do we bridge that experience?
All right, I mentioned the fact that we're at NAB. You mentioned a couple of key points there about the Pearl Nexus. Why is Epiphan at NAB?
So I think this is really the core of the business and where we came from at Epiphan. We've traditionally served kind of those live event folks, and we'll call it, that in-between tier of broadcast. So we're not, selling to NBC, and we're not, we have that folks like a Freeman or an Encore that you're hiring to do your corporate conferences, your sales kickoffs, those big events have fleets of these devices, and that's where the idea for Nexus came from, was how do we evolve this to the folks in higher education and in the AV space that were purchasing devices like our Pearl 2 or our Pearl Mini that were designed with interfaces really for those event folks that might be actively using the device. There's someone standing behind it and switching the feeds or starting and stopping it. But they were then bridging that with some of our Crestron modules and Extron control, and now QSys over the last few years to bring those devices into the classroom, into the courtroom, into conference centers. And we found with the Nexus, we had a great partner at UNLV and a few other university customers that were like, hey, this Mini is great, but I want an AV version. I want a version that looks like our world when we go to Infocom or ISE, and we go out in the field and see something that I can slide in the rack and my users don't have to think about.
Yeah.
It just happens. That automagic thing we can do.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So talk for a second, because you mentioned UNLV there. It was another award that was focused and centered around the Pearl Nexus, the Epiphan solution there. But higher education, corporate, we're seeing a lot in Fortune 100 up to Fortune 500 that are developing a version of broadcast, right? Developing a broadcast-like experience because they're finding it more cost-effective, right? How can Epiphan kind of leverage your past broadcast technology into this new version of broadcast where it's kind of like corporate television?
I think that's always been the sweet spot of where we are in terms of broadcast technology. I think it's more companies are evolving towards that and realizing the value of bringing those skills in-house. We've had a lot of customers that have been using Pearls for a very long time doing that, and I think what we've seen recently is more and more of them coming to us saying, hey, look, I hired Encore to come in and produce our sales kickoff, and these guys had this really cool box, and it seems pretty straightforward. Like, talk to me about it. I saw this green thing. Let's talk about it. We're seeing that really grow with our corporate customers. There's that. There's some different credit card companies you might have in your pocket you've probably heard of, and we actually work with all of them in exactly that capability. And what we've seen those folks value a lot with us is similar to those higher ed and AV folks. We have a back-end cloud management platform. So in the case of one of them, they manage all of their broadcasts at all of their centers in London and India and Singapore and Hong Kong from their headquarters in New York City.
Oh, wow.
So that broadcast team can tap into any of these executive briefing spaces and deliver a centrally managed, professional feeling town hall no matter where that executive is speaking from. Okay. And that's really the power of our technology on the broadcast side, and kind of leveraging that fusion of broadcast and AV with the simplicity and management that the AV folks expect with the kind of outcomes and production value broadcast looks for.
Awesome. Julian, somebody wants to find out more about Epiphan. How do they do that?
You can check out epiphan.com. We have all the product info there, but my favorite part of it is they'll pop up a little bot on the bottom, and a lot of people, you see chat bots, but the fun thing about ours, you hit that, it connects you right with the team at the office in Ottawa. Talk to a human via text or give us a call, and we're always happy to chat and help you solve some challenges with video.
All right, very good. Julian from Epiphan for us for AVNation. Go by our website, avnation.tv. It's avnation.tv. Find more videos from the show floor. And you can also see us announcing there are 2 awards on there as well. All that and more at avnation.tv. It's avnation.tv.